Today I'm bringing you a homebrew monster specifically, and one that's designed to sort of play the role of karma in your campaign, or one at least that can help deliver that. If you've got a group of players who've been tending towards a more evil side of things, and you're looking to make sure their actions have consequences, then the Antipathy could be just the monster you're looking for. Before we hop into the monster, I just want to say welcome one and all to a Dragon's Hoard D&D. This is where I'm going to share the homebrew creations that I've made for the various campaigns that I've been running, whether one-shots or otherwise, with you, so that you can have a look and see what you think, and use them, maybe, to torment or reward your players, depending on what it is I'm sharing with you. I'm going to kick things off with the Antipathy because it's by far and away the most entertaining monster I've used. It was effectively the big bad evil guy in an evil campaign that I was running, and helped scare the life out of the players, which is very much what I was aiming to do. This elemental aberration is born of the evil things that the player characters do and the hatred that what they do causes. Rather than other characters coming and seeking vengeance, the remnants of that emotion cling to different parts of bodies or blood or other things and start to coalesce into one being, looking sort of like a water elemental dyed red. As it grows, it constantly follows around the player characters that have spawned it, learning from them, understanding them, and playing with them, toying with them, maybe leaving traps for them or leading them into something that they can't beat yet, things like that. This isn't just some horrifying spirit of vengeance, this is a hunter, and a clever one at that. And it really likes toying with its prey. Let's go over the basic stats first. The Antipathy is rocking 194 hit points, an AC of 19, speed of 40 feet, a burrow speed of 30 feet, providing it can go somewhere where the liquid can go, as well as an 18 in strength, 18 dex, 24 con, 18 intelligence, 18 wisdom, and 22 in charisma. It is not charming, however, it is frightening, and I do think that's important to remember. In terms of vulnerabilities, it is vulnerable to cold and lightning because it's effectively a liquid being, but it's also resistant to non-magical physical attacks and fire also. Along with that, it also has blind sight up to 60 feet because it has no eyes, and it's strong. It's designed to be used against players basically on its own, but that's not the only way that you can run it. You can have it having gathered minions if you want, because the whole point is that it is smart enough to do so. I threw this against my players when they were level 6. You do not have to do that. I like running sessions and combats where my players are perpetually fearful of their characters' lives, because that's what my players seem to enjoy, and that's what I enjoy. On top of that, this creature can smell and sense the blood of those that it's hunting up to 240 feet away, and will have advantage on any checks to find them, which means that things like invisibility, past the 60 feet, blind sight, and hiding in general aren't really going to help. It also has a really nasty habit of toying with the players that it's hunting, and in the event that one of them falls in another combat, or maybe in the first appearance of this thing, will inhabit that player character's body and puppeteer it, having it walk up to the rest of the party to scare them, or just to spend some time around them to learn even more about them. This mimicry might be noticed from an RP sense, or obviously from a metagame sense, it's hard to ignore, but in terms of what your player characters will, they will be unsettled by the whole thing, and it will continue this mimicry until it is hit, or until it decides to shed its disguise. By far and away my favourite feature for this thing is a feature called a group's vendetta. When the Antipathy is defeated, it will explode into a cloud of blood that spreads in 20 feet in all directions. Any characters within this cloud will have to make a DC 15 wisdom save. Whoever fails this by the most will then have to fight off an infection. If they fail on 2 more saves after this, they will become corrupted by the Antipathy and will have to use all of their actions going forward to continue its grudge until everything has been wiped out or the creature itself has been defeated. The way that I did this in my campaign is I actually let the player play it out themselves, which meant that the campaign ended with PvP, which I appreciate not everyone likes, but really worked for the sessions that we were doing and with the group I was running with. And it also ended up with one of the players becoming the big bad, which felt incredibly thematically fitting. The DC is not especially high here, but it is one that will effectively take away the player character, so do make sure that you've cleared this kind of thing in a session 0 at some point. In terms of actions, it has 3 general attacks it can use. It has a slam, which has it effectively hitting a player within a 10-foot range with some part of its body, or maybe some other kind of body part it's collected, which will deal force damage to them. It also has a piercing attack where it shoots a part of itself towards a player, attempting to pierce through them up to a range of 30 feet. And its final attack is a gore breath. It effectively spews viscera and ichor within a 30-foot cone, and anything within that will have to make a constitution save or be poisoned. Its bonus actions might be where it gets the most entertaining. It has the red teleport, in which it can teleport to any pool of blood within 30 feet of itself, but it also has Blood Frenzy. Blood Frenzy allows it to whisper horrible things, eldritch things, or maybe just shriek with the voices of the damned or something. You can flavor it however you like, it's up to you. But effectively, as it's doing this to a player, they have to make a wisdom save, and if they fail that wisdom save, they have to use their next turn doing as much damage as they possibly can to another player character, or even healing the antipathy if that's what it wants. Reactions, it has a type of shield which gives it +3 to AC, and it also has a reaction in which it can use that Blood Frenzy attack to incite that in any character that hits it within melee range, as long as that character is bloodied. That's a lot of hoops for that particular reaction. If you want to take away the bloodied necessity, you're more than welcome to do so. It also has 3 legendary resistances, and it can teleport and use any of its basic attacks with a legendary action too. The aim with this creature is not necessarily to defeat your party, but to show them that what they're doing has a very real in-game effect. The things that they're doing, the way that they're doing them matter, which I think most players understand, but can be easily lost in the heat of things. You're not punishing anyone, you're just providing them with the consequences that their actions have had, which is what D&D is best for, what TTRPGs in general are best for. As I said, I used this at the end of a short 6-session evil campaign in which my player characters were just the worst. The players were wonderful, obviously, but the player characters were horrendous to deal with. It was also an all-fighter campaign, and that's a whole other kettle of fish. The themes that this allows you to play with are very horror-focused, very body horror-focused as well. So again, make sure you clear all this in a session 0, but it can add a lot of darkness and grit to a campaign if that's what you're looking for, especially if you decide that before fighting, or even during the fight, to really roleplay as this thing and have it bring up the things that these characters have done to effectively spawn it and bring it into being. While I do think it's generally a creature that should be run on its own, you could definitely have it with minions, or even throw a couple of them at your players if they've really been going off the rails, and if you're feeling particularly brave. Now that we're at the end of the video, I just want to let you know that I'm going to be doing one of these every other week with artwork commissioned by Wyntre. I will link to a relevant page somewhere. Thank you so much again for doing these. They're amazing, absolutely incredible, and the videos look substantially better because of it. Every other week I will be going into some other item, monster, subclass, or something else that I've been creating for my campaigns or just for the fun of it. If you did enjoy this, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.